Now, this is a very interesting point I'm about to make because it is literally the bread and butter of my testimony. The reason how what I'm naming this video evil seeds gets rooted within a person. So, for those who did watch the video, I mentioned that a certain family member of mine was a Freemason, right? And through that, he influenced me. But the thing was, I was protected. I believed in Jesus, in supremacy, right? And anything that was going to be against me won't prosper. But yet, the seeds that were planted created something which opened myself up to the idea of such evil, darkness, and so and so. So that is me clarifying that, and then again restating or redefining what I meant by and destroy me, because the things that this person was saying, was confessing to me, he was trying to do, but it didn't work, right? So that's me just reframing it, restating. So with that seed, right, this is how things then blossom, right? Because if you look at a tree, for example, and I'm taking this from Prophet Lovi Elias, he mentioned that a tree looks the same under the ground as above the ground. It's literally the same. The roots are spread apart, so if you flip it upside down, it literally looks like the same thing. So if we are not uprooting these evil seeds that are planted in us, then it will manifest into something. So I also mentioned how these ideas, right, can then create a rebellious spirit within you, right? Because that is basically where sin comes from, iniquity, right? So what is very important is that we guard our hearts. We guard our hearts because if God gave you the spirit, right, of patience, love, and kindness, then where does all these other things come from, right? The influences, right? It comes from an evil seed. So when we identify that Christ is our Redeemer, then again in the Spirit, nothing can stick to us, as it says in Psalm 23. So I don't want to make this a very long video, so I'm going to cut it here by ending off with Bible reading, and a very important reading, because I was talking to someone and we were discussing, if we say we are Christians, right, shouldn't we know where it says in the Bible certain things? It's cool to have faith and everything and things like that, because faith comes from reading the word and then believing, right? So then, how then can we say we are if we cannot find it? And this is a very important topic, the Trinity, because this is the most debated thing, right? Everywhere. So I'm going to show you where Jesus glorifies God and God glorifies himself through his Holy Spirit, which he communicates with us. And this is in Colossians, right? Chapter 1, verse 15. And we see here the supremacy of Christ. So, verse 15, he is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or authorities. All things were created by him and for him. So we are saying, right, like in the Nicene Creed, for example, that Jesus begets the Father. Here it literally says that God made everything for him and through him. So here we can actually see that Jesus was in heaven before creation. Because if God is saying that he made heaven and earth for him and through him, then that means Jesus was alive in heaven. and that because of the fall now of Satan and him destroying God's creation, Jesus then had to sacrifice himself. God had to sacrifice his only son to save us. Because if we are all God's creation, just like angels, right? But we have the freedom to be in God's image, whereas angels just obey God because they've seen him. And this is now the rebellious side, right? And now we know this knowledge of truth. Then isn't it safe to say then God had to save his own creation through himself? And so I want to leave that with you. Peace.